2 weeks after an officer-involved shooting, the Austin Police Department has released video showing their encounter with a man they say was aggressive and holding a knife. CBS Austin's Ricardo Lewis joins us with a look at that footage. Ricardo?
Yeah, Austin Interim Police Chief Joseph Chacon outlined exactly what happened on the day of this officer-involved shooting. The suspect was injured and is in the hospital and has not yet been charged with the crime. We must warn you, the video you're about to see may be disturbing to watch. The Austin Police Department responded to a man walking down the middle of Highway 183 northbound near the Austin airport on August 19th. When they got there, police say the man appeared aggressive and had a knife in his hand.
At approximately 4:40 p.m., additional officers began to arrive on scene, and Mr. Gillespie advanced towards the officers with the knife.
Bodycam video shows the man walking toward officers, refusing to put the knife down.
Put the knife down! Put the knife down!
He was shot multiple times. APD Interim Police Chief Joseph Chacon says officers Derek Lehman and Jason Cummins, both with 11 years experience on the force, shot him. Officers continue to argue with LaShondell Gillespie to put the knife down.
The knife! Kill me! That's what I want y'all to do to kill me.
The incident was captured from 3 different angles on body-worn cameras and a car dash cam. To arrest Gillespie, the officers made a plan to disarm him.
That's what we're going to do. I'm going to go up there, I'm going to kick it out. Tase, effective NMI, I'm going to kick. Do not shoot.
After several attempts pleading with Gillespie to drop the knife, Officer Michael Barba tased him. Officers were then able to provide aid and transport him to the hospital, where he is in stable condition.
Body-worn camera and in-car dash camera video does not always capture everything that the officer, Mr. Gillespie, or other witnesses saw or sensed during the incident. However, the footage helps us to understand what occurred.
Now, APD will conduct a criminal investigation with the Travis County District Attorney's Office and an administrative investigation. The officers involved are still on administrative duty. Live in the studio, Ricardo Lewis, CBS Austin News.
My body is my own. Dance off my body. My body is my own. Dance off my body.
Today, the Texas Heartbeat Act took effect. The new law outlaws abortion after 6 weeks and makes it possible to sue anyone who treats or assists someone seeking the procedure after that deadline. CBS Austin's Melanie Torrey joins us live tonight. Melanie, beyond just the impact here in Texas, other states say they are feeling the effect of this law as well.
Hey, a clinic operating to our north in Oklahoma and Kansas says they were already seeing more Texans seeking abortion access there, and with this new law, they only expect that to increase. Those who support the law are calling it an accomplishment that they hope other states will adopt.
Advocates for abortion access rallied on the steps of the Texas state capitol. Their performance protest intended to show disdain for Texas's Heartbeat Act.
It's already difficult enough to get an abortion in Texas. This will make it even much more harder.
The new law took effect just after midnight, further limiting Texans' access to abortion. State Senator Sarah Eckhart voted against the bill.
Well, I needed the energy of this group to remind me that it is our right, our individual right, to choose whether and when we're going to have children.
But the group Texas Right to Life says they're proud of the state's new law and they hope others will follow.
We think elective abortion is an act of injustice. We believe that it is a bigger, stronger party violently taking the life of a smaller, weaker party.
Trust Women is an abortion provider operating in Oklahoma and Kansas.
So yesterday, the phones here in Oklahoma City were ringing off the hook.
Co-executive director Rebecca Tong says that clinic now has a 3-week wait.
The patients who are calling don't know what the law is going to do. And so they're asking, like, am I not allowed to tell anyone? Do I have to keep this a secret? And it's taking something that's already pretty isolating and making it even worse.
According to the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, in 2019, 25 Texans received an abortion in the state. Last year, when Texas closed clinics, deeming them non-essential during the pandemic, that number jumped to 289.
Yes, there's a lot more Texas patients. There's a lot more minor patients that are getting scheduled. And it's people at later gestation. So what Texas has essentially done is increased the number of, second trimester patients that we have to see because they're forcing people to delay access to this care.
Melanie Torrey, CBS Austin News.
The House got one step closer tonight to sending a bill to the Senate to help fund the legislative branch of the government. But the Senate may provide a hurdle that trips this piece of legislation up. CBS Austin's Christian Flores digs deeper into the status of the bill and the disconnect between the two chambers.
I want to see if he has his big boy pants on. This meeting is adjourned.
And with that, a game of political chicken began, leaving the restoration of funding for the state's legislative branch of government in jeopardy with just 4 days left in this special session. This was a challenge by State Rep and House Public Education Committee Chairman Harold Dutton Jr. against Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, after Patrick threatened to hold up the legislative pay bill until the House passes two of his firebrand conservative bills. One would expand a ban on critical race theory, and the other outright bans transgender students from playing school sports of the gender in which they identify. This funding pays the salaries of everyone from lawmaker staff to custodial and cafeteria workers in the Texas Capitol. While the Senate did not take up their version of the legislative funding bill Wednesday.
All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. The ayes have it. HB 5 is passed in engrossment.
The House gave initial passage to their bill, which also adds money to the state's foster care system and teacher retirement system, all of which are agenda items this special session. The largely ceremonial final passage is expected Thursday before being sent to the Senate, something Republican State Rep Matt Krause says has been a long time coming.
There's a common theme amongst all the legislators of how valuable our staffs are. I don't think anybody undervalues or doesn't understand the critical importance that staff play here.
The struggle between the House and Senate is the latest chapter of partisan heel digging that began after the end of the regular session in May, when Governor Greg Abbott vetoed this portion of the state budget in retaliation for Texas House Democrats walking off the House floor to break quorum and kill his top priority election bill. Now, lawmakers don't even want to think what happens if this does not get passed before the last day of the special session on Sunday.
I would rather not even go down that road. I just want to make sure we get that passed in the next couple of days so our staffs have a sense of peace and security going forward.
At the Texas Capitol, Christian Flores, CBS Austin News.